Nordic Ashes is a survivors-like experience that takes the best aspects of the genre and delivers a complete package for less than $10 US. Yes, this is the most polished and feature-complete survivors-like experience that I've played since Vampire Survivors, and while you can certainly point to other games in the genre that have done well, the combination here of presentation, gameplay, systems, depth, and polish all culminates in a must-play survivors-like experience. Let's start with the presentation. The first thing you'll notice when you boot up Nordic Ashes is the epic soundtrack that plays right from the title screen. An epic sweeping orchestral soundscape layered with flutes, strings, and epic vocal chanting really sets the tone and vibe of this Norse Viking-inspired game. Graphically, this game has a really unique art style that stands out among its peers. Characters and enemy models in particular look really awesome and detailed. There is a good amount of variety here too, from plague rats to angelic monsters, tree folk, as well as some strange but unique looking Pokemon-like creatures. The levels themselves all feature unique environments and weather effects. Each one has their own unique feel and tone. Menus and UI elements are all really clean and look great as well. This all comes together to create a really high quality presentation that feels like it was made by a much bigger team. Well done to Knoxfall Studios here. But of course, gameplay is king, so how does Nordic Ashes stack up against the best of the genre? I'm happy to report that Nordic Ashes feels like the most polished survivors-like I've played since Vampire Survivors. Responsiveness of the controls feel on point, character hitbox feels generous towards the player but predictable, weapons feel powerful and impactful, especially once leveled and ascended. There are a ton of sub-objectives and other things on the map to keep you moving and thinking about where to go next. And most importantly, there's a ton of variety in character playstyles, different types of builds you can create, and even within the character's constellation skill tree. Add on top of this a significant amount of replayability and meta progression grind for those who want it, and it all culminates in a really satisfying gameplay loop that keeps begging you to return for just one more run. One of the things that developers really nailed here is the feeling that the game keeps opening up the more you play and progress, due to how the game's systems interact with each other and a mix of RNG and static choices. The Yggdrasil passive tree here is massive, and it has a lot of different options for you to choose as you progress. The choices you make here really can alter your playstyle. Maybe you want to take more defensive route and invest into damage resistance and overhealing, or you could invest deep into the economy skills and be filthy rich along your runs, allowing you to buy up everything in sight. Or you could go straight down the DPS tree and try to out-damage everything. The choice is yours, and you could respec for free at any time, allowing you to really craft a build that works for you. If I have one negative about this system is that it takes a very long time to max this tree out. Most players won't even come close to maxing this thing out after 50 plus hours. Perhaps this could be sped up a little bit in a future patch, as having to replay all the levels on each character for extra leaves does start to feel a little repetitive after a while, when I would prefer be spending my time moving up the Ragnarok difficulty levels, only to find my character's too weak because I haven't grinded enough leaves yet. With that being said, the deeper you go into Nordic Ashes, the more the game systems reveal themselves to you, and in actuality, a lot of the RNG in your runs can be removed, or at least toned down, by taking advantage of the different systems the game gives you. A good example here is the Relic Exchanger that isn't even available to you until you've grinded a significant amount of resources. This allows you to choose some starting relics to take in with you at the beginning of your run, allowing for further customization of your character builds and overall power level. Special mention goes to the constellation system that basically acts like another skill tree, but this one starts from zero every time you begin a new run. This tree can be upgraded in any way the player sees fit. Want to focus on your main starter weapon? Go for it. Want to buff all your base stats? Go for it. Want to try mixing and matching different offensive spells your character has access to? You get the idea. You can even pick up additional weapons from the battlefield or the shop to add to your constellation and level these up instead. The choice really is yours. This system is great because it puts a lot of the power of character building into the player's hands and doesn't force every run to be decided by RNG. There are also tons of these relics to find along your run, over 150 in fact. These can range from small buffs to legendary relics, as well as additional weapons and spells to make your character even more potent. Unlocking all the relics is also part of the grind here, as there really are a lot of great choices. I'm also happy to report that this game runs silky smooth with no major bugs or glitches. The frame rate is very stable even when things get busy, and they do. The screen will fill up with a lot of enemies and visual effects coming at you all at once. There is, however, an option to tone down the visual effects, which is a great addition, and I wish more of these survivor-like games had. But more important than performance and game systems and all that stuff is this. The gameplay loop in Nordic Ashes is really fun and very Moorish. You will want to come back for just one more run over and over again, and I think you can easily get 50 plus hours out of this game, or even more if you really love what it has to offer. The combination of presentation, game systems, depth, and very addictive gameplay loop all culminates into a must-play survivor-style roguelike. And for less than $10 US, this is a no-brainer for anyone that is a fan of the genre. Go check out Nordic Ashes, you won't regret it. And that's the review. Thanks so much for checking out the channel. Consider hitting like and subscribe, as we have plenty more roguelike and survivors-like content coming up. And with that, I hope you have an amazing, fantastic day.